Do you want to learn how to bring home better travel photos and videos from your next adventure? Taking great shots involves a lot more than just pointing and shooting. So I've enlisted the help of professional travel photographer Ralph Velasco to share his time and his many pearls of wisdom from his years of experience traveling the world. So make sure you watch this video all the way through. There's even more great information from Ralph. And even if you only implement a few of the tips, I'm sure your next batch of travel photos and videos will be even better than the previous one. So I think pictures are such an important part of any kind of travel. Someone I used to date used to get really mad when I would stop and take pictures on our trips, and he'd say, "You're not enjoying yourself." And I said, "This is how I enjoy myself when I go home. You can look at these beautiful pictures I took, and I can remember where I was and what I was doing and what was going on around me."
I always am saying, don't be afraid to put the camera down and enjoy the place. Be there now. Don't go through a whole trip seeing it through the viewfinder of a lens.
Right.
Now it's entirely, personal thing, but sometimes we do that and we tend
Yeah.
to, we come back with nice shots, but then you end up having seen the place just through the viewfinder of a lens and
Yeah,
maybe
that's a
didn't
good
really
point.
experience it.
It's a tough balance because, you don't want to miss anything cool that's going on around you, but you do also want to live in the moment.
I've come to realize that I'm not going to get every shot.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
as soon as I got that mindset, I was able to enjoy myself a lot more and not
Yeah.
feel like I'm missing something. Yeah. And if I can make another suggestion in
Sure.
that situation where you have someone, you're traveling with someone that maybe isn't necessarily into photography, get out early by yourself. It's number one, it's the best time of day to shoot is early in the morning when the light's really great and there's less tourists out before the heat of the day.
Right.
But also you don't feel rushed by someone who's maybe not into photography
Yeah,
and you do
that's
your
a
own
great
thing.
point.
Yeah. And then you come back at, meet them for breakfast, have the middle of the day when the light's terrible and all the people are out and have that together with them. But you got out on your own at your own pace and you enjoyed it that way. I don't even get my groups out for every sunrise. Typically we have breakfast, maybe 7 to 7:30, go out 7:30, 8 o'clock. Like I said, we're out there when the kids are on their way to school, people are on their way to work, the locals are around. There's less crime at that time of day because there's no tourists and
Right.
the pickpockets and stuff are out when there's tourists.
Getting up early definitely has its benefits. We already talked about time around sunrise being really good as far as the light is good and there are fewer people out. Are there any other times a day that you think are the best times to catch some really great shots?
Well, you've got the golden hour, and that's like sunrise and sunset. But there's also the blue hour, and that's before sunrise and after sunset. And if, a lot of times, especially at sunset, people will photograph the sunset as soon as the sun hits the horizon, they pack up and leave. But I recommend waiting around a little bit longer and you'll often get that blue hour. And that's a
Oh,
really
wow.
deep blue sky. And it's really such a great time of day. Now, this also happens before sunrise. So that means getting out even earlier than
Right.
sunrise. Summer, the days are going to be a lot longer. So you got to get
Right.
out even earlier and stay out later. So I like traveling and doing my group tours more in spring and fall, whatever hemisphere I'm in, because
Right.
the days are sort of medium length. In winter, the days are shorter, but oftentimes it can be cold, and it's really important, for your own travels. And so understanding that, but that blue hour, you can get some really unique shots that other people aren't getting. With sunset and sunrise, if you usually don't want the sun in the shot, actually, there's a very short window of time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, as the sun just comes up over the horizon at sunrise or just as it's going to hit the horizon at sunset, because if it's too high, it's going to be too bright in the frame.
Right.
And you're going to have a lot of trouble with exposure. the camera's going to want to knock the exposure down because it's so bright. And then all your foregrounds and things, all the shadows are blocked up and they're black. You can frame so the sun is not in the shot, and maybe there's a photo opportunity there. I think that the photo opportunity is what the sun is shining on, and which is
Right.
usually behind you if you're looking
Mhm.
at the sunset or sunrise. It's
Mhm.
that beautiful golden hour of those buildings behind you or those mountains behind you that the sun
Mhm.
is shining on, not necessarily the actual sun. When it comes to video, I absolutely recommend always shooting horizontally, because
Mhm.
there's nothing worse than like watching the news and someone submitted a video ever and they shot it vertically.
Right.
And then you see those two big black bars on either side,
Yeah.
and you get this tiny little photo or video in the middle. I'm always thinking about shooting for my YouTube channel, or
Yeah.
that one day that I might capture the alien ship landing, and I want to make sure that
I want to
it's
see
being
that video.
horizontal. What's that?
I said, I want to see that video.
Yeah. But if I ever get a video on the news, I don't want it to be a vertical video.
Right.
Thing about video is a lot of times people want to follow the action. So to me, it's more about trying to be still and letting the action happen in front of you.
Mhm.
Try to maybe lean up against a tree or a building and just keep it nice and steady. If you need to move very slowly towards where something else is happening, if that's the case.
Mhm.
And don't make all these jerky moves. The other thing is sound. So sound is so important, and you can get very inexpensive lavalier mics for 15 or $20, and
Mhm.
connect them right to your phone, even wireless ones that are usually a little bit more expensive. But quality sound so important when it comes to video. They'll click away for bad sound before bad video.
Thank you so much. You've given us all so much to think about and all these new things to try. So I think all of
Pleasure.
our vacation photography is going to be leveling up after this talk. Thank you.